Board games, it's what I'm talking about. Board games, I'm not gonna shout. I am starting off this streaming with a little bit of singing. And today I'm going to tell you about the games that I played yesterday. I might not say all their names because I have played quite a lot of the Elder games and they are fresh hot. And I am going to talk about Surrealism in Legs. That's a game made by Andrew Beardsley and it's not the dregs. It's very good and I think maybe there should be more games that are silly and whimsical, because such games I adore. Hello and good morning, good afternoon, good whatever it is, wherever you are. And this is episode 432, maybe? I should make the title short. So anyway, this is Bezzy Beats and Briefer Blether. I'm going to be chatting a wee bit about what I did yesterday. You can feel free to tell us what you were up to. I'm going to be chatting a wee bit about the games that I was playtesting, a wee bit about Legs and how it made me think of surrealism, like reaching back into the days of the Spectrum. I remember, it was cheap to make these games and everyone was making games like, Jet Set Willy, where you've got just random things jumping up and down like you're moving about a house, but do any of these things make sense? No, they don't. And just to change the picture on the side, I'm going to show you Legs. This is a wonderful game by Andy Beardsley. And hello, Jess, it is lovely to see you. Jess apparently had her tooth removed. Oh my gosh. And also the travel rules changed. Jess might come to the UK this week. Wow. Well, that is quite a turn up for the books, proverbially speaking. And so, yes, it is. But Jess hasn't decided yet. So, wow, that is quite a recent highlight for you, Jess. And talking about recent highlights, let me talk about my own. Recent highlights, living life and seeing the sights. Recent highlights, playing games and other delights. Okay, so yeah, recent highlights was definitely me going to the Royal Festival Hall for playtesting yesterday. As you might be aware, every Friday I go to the Royal Festival Hall for playtesting and it's a lovely time. It's the highlight of my week. Meeting other people, staying in touch, getting to play games, getting to show off my games, getting an idea of whether they are any good, getting to give feedback, getting to talk really analytically about the games with people who care the most about them, the people who are actually making them. And so that's a wonderful time. Let me show a few pictures. So we had a few games for the L deck. Here, the last card on the top left is slightly off. It's meant to be Bring, B-R-I-N-G. Conversely, I have made the word words. In this game, you get 2 points per lower letter, so I got 2 for the W, 1 for the O, R, and S, which makes 5, and 2 more for the D makes 6. I mean 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I can't count. I mean, I can count, but I'm not perfect. Conversely, bring. I just realised that my opponents also had 7. They just put their cards in the wrong place. So that should have been a G for 2 points, and a B for 2 points, and then an R, 1, I, and N for 1 point each, which would be 7 points. And in this game, you're just grabbing cards. You can grab as many cards as you want. You can keep going. You can grab more and more cards, hoping to get a particular thing. But every excess cards that you took, like I've got the 2, the EY and the EL that I did not use, that's -1 each. So that would be 5 points. And that's basically the entire game. It's a speed game. Yeah. I also got Rory to play this solitaire game. And we played a few others. We played, this is Asteroidel, where Rory is trying to destroy the asteroids by making words before the asteroids go to the left. This was really useful. I mean, not only did I get an opinion, but one major rule change might come out of this. And played Dwindle, which is a solo game. We played 5 Remove L, which is a multiplayer game about, really randomly putting things down, and then sometimes you need to take cards and there are penalty points. We played a speed game where you need to know the alphabet and you're putting things down on top of other cards. We also played another word game called Shiftable, where you're shifting the cards up and down, and that feels like it's got really high potential, but it's not quite there yet. Anyway, all of these games, possibly with the exception of 5 Remove L, I'm going to push forward into public testing. So if you have one of these decks, one of the ELL decks, and you're interested in remote testing, then please let me know. And yeah, so that is my own games that I tested out. Then, of course, there's a lot of reciprocation going on. We do have breaks. We get breaks to go to the loo, maybe get food, and also talk about things that aren't the games that we're just playing. So quite often we might talk about other games, or previous games, or the nature of collaboration, or just what we did recently. And that's, I think, a very useful and important part of the day. So this is chicken tikka with coriander and dal, and rice, and an onion bhaji. From the Royal Festival Hall, there is such a variety of food, so many cuisines, and every time I go I have food of a different nationality, and it's just delicious. I don't know if, London is such a lovely place, and there's to have a food market where you've got people of so many nationalities coming together to bring their cuisine. You've got Italian, Indian, other takes on Indian. You've got Mexican, you've got Korean, you've got Japanese, you've got all sorts of things. And yes, it was lovely. And Jess is ordering their own soup, purple rice soup. Hopefully a sweet soup. Well, I hope that you enjoy it very much. My question to you, Jess, to the audience, is where you are. Do you have access to food from a lot of different nationalities? Is that something that you get a lot of where you are? Now, we played this roll and write where you roll dice and you're navigating around and finding little treasure. This was done by Rory Muldoon, Rory, who you would have seen the face of 5 minutes ago. And it's a delightful game, just roaming around and trying to kill the monster. There's a bit of, it's like kind of Pirates in the Caribbean vibe, and going around, going to islands, getting treasure, getting points for exploring different places, getting points for different islands. And yeah, it's just a joyful romp. Apparently Bangkok is amazing and you can get food from everywhere. Jess is very hungry but can only manage soup today, so is trying to find the best soup to order. That does sound fantastic indeed. And let me talk a wee bit about legs. Now, this is the last game of the day that we played, and let me actually make this a wee bit bigger if I can. It's not actually that much bigger. Which screen do you prefer, that one or that one? I think that one. Maybe Big Bez or Little Bez? Big leg or slightly medium leg? That one? Not that one. That one with the big leg and small Bez, or that one with big Bez and medium leg? Let me know which screen you prefer. But anyway, I want to talk about this game because this was just fantastic. Because, you know, in this game, you are playing a bunch of little feet. Your scoring markers are little toes. And you've got to guess where you've got hidden objectives. The hidden objectives are trying to be in different parts of the leg. You're trying to be on different colors or different patterns, or maybe you're trying to be on the thigh, on the knee, on the calf, or on the foot. Or maybe you've got the good legs card, which just means that wherever you are, you meet your objective. Or maybe you've got the bad legs card, where you don't meet your objective, and other people are trying to guess what you've got, what's going on with you. So you take it in turns to roll some dice, move around, and guess what everybody else's objective is once they've shown whether they're meeting it or not. So it's like, hey, you didn't meet your objective when you were on that purple square, but you met your objective when you were on this purple square. So clearly it's not about the colour. Maybe it's about the position. Maybe it's about how close you are to other people. Maybe it's about where on the leg you are. Maybe it's about the pattern. And you never have a good idea. It's quite silly. You're just giving a bit of a guess. See if you get it right. If you get it right, you get some points. And if you get it right, then the person has to reveal, and then it's easier to scupper them for the next round. But yeah, it got me thinking, why, as we talked about the game, Rory had ideas of like a garter belt that's maybe slipping down as the game goes on. Or maybe like an insect or a mosquito or a tick that jumps around. And I know that's kind of icky, but or why not just bring an accordion into it? Because why not? And seriously, you've got these old video games from the 90s or 80s, or maybe even 70s, on the ZX Spectrum, on the Commodore, Manic Miner, Jet Set Willy, and you're just going around and things don't really make sense. And why do things have to make sense these days? It feels almost like board games are getting a bit po-faced, you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like board games ever went through that really irreverent phase of being punk rock and being like, yeah, whatever I want to do, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to have a bunch of feet and toes on a board made out of a leg, and I'm going to have an accordionist and a UFO and maybe a sheep wandering around, because why not? Sheep are cool. And maybe there's a little flower, and, you know, with Monopoly, there's a bit of surrealism for sure. Like, I mean, the surrealism did come about because it was basically a folk game done by Lizzie McGee, and then McGee didn't really, for those who don't know, the genesis of Monopoly, it was originally called the Landlord's Game by Lizzie McGee, who was a stout Georgist. It's a very political game. Lizzie McGee wanted to show off the idea of taxing land. The idea was that literally the only thing that would be taxed would be the amount of land that you have. Now, I do not believe that these Georgist theories are quite correct, because if you look at, Jeff Bezos or other people, no, I think that the wealth itself needs to be taxed. I do believe that the wealth itself does need to be taxed. I don't believe that not having any land makes you a poor person. Things have changed a lot since the 1930s. And Jess clearly wants to talk about food, saying, you can get a drink made from milk, fruit, and chicken breast. Yes, I would like to try that, absolutely. And, you could have the point is that, Monopoly, the playing pieces, originally they were just whatever people had lying to hand. A thimble, a spool of thread, anything that they had. See you in a moment, Jess. And so Monopoly is the closest we've got to a surreal game, and it's actually incredibly mean and nasty, and it's not fun-loving and surreal and joyful at all. Now, Legs didn't work brilliantly. There were big problems with the design. It was a bit overly calculating, it was a wee bit too much, but this is a really solid idea, and I want to see in this day and age of things being self-publishable, that we can print 500 copies and it's still very profitable, but we have exact authorial expression over every copy. Every copy that I produce has the exact letters and the exact look, and I can even go as far as saying, the exact card quality that I paid for. Sure, there are limitations. Maybe the fact that, hey, these cards are a bit thinner and they bend, that's not part of my intent or desire, that's just part of the nature of making a cheap game. But why? And I was cycling back and I was thinking, why don't we have a game about micromanaging a chicken? And then there's little aliens doing things to the chicken, and then there's maybe an accordionist inside the chicken who's making the chicken move, and an accordion that's helping it breathe, or maybe for the chicken to make noises, it's got a musical instrument inside. And maybe in terms of getting food, maybe this chicken eats whatever, maybe it's a robot chicken, I don't know. It's like a vague facsimile of the chicken, okay? And a juxtaposition, the surrealism, I want to see more of that. I want to see more of that, inspired by Monty Python, inspired by the old games like that I mentioned, Jet Set Willy, Manic Miner. I want to see more games where you just... Yeah, sure, there are games where you're trying to eat the most at a buffet, and that was quite a fun theme. I can definitely relate to that, as Jess might attest. But let's go for pure surrealism, where things don't make sense, and we just revel in that. Feet going up and down a foot, what's that all about? It doesn't make any sense, does it? And Andy just made this, and they ran with it, and I love it. And it's weird, it's bonkers, it's macabre. So yeah, I want to see more of this kind of surrealism in games. Anyway, so that's the main topic. Like, what do you think about surrealism in games? Can you think of any games that you consider to be surreal? Would you like to see more surrealism in games? Would you like to see evil accordionists or just evil accordions? There's no human played accordion, it's just an accordion bouncing around. Although you wouldn't hear the noises necessarily, but maybe it's evil pianos, because pianos look a bit more discernible. Maybe it's evil pianos, and there's like chickens that you've got to collect, and then you're running around a sheep, and then there's a little videotape that lets you save more memory, because obviously that's what you do with videotape. Would you like to see more surrealism in board games? Would you like to see more things that don't really make sense, and it's just, hey, this is doing this just because the pianos are evil in this world? I don't know why I'm saying that pianos are evil when I'm playing one. Well, I guess I'm playing an electric keyboard. But yeah, would you like to see more surrealism in games? That's my question to you, Jess. And anyone else who's watching after the fact, let me know. Now, I guess it's time for the questionably quick questions. That's the next section. It's not interrogation, it's just a discussion. You can ask me in this section any questionably quick questions. And whilst you're thinking about the questionably quick questions, I wanted to talk about a brilliant thing. Brilliant thing. What's a little thing which is brilliant? Brilliant thing. Brilliant thing. Surrealism is brilliant. Yeah, surrealism, just kind of putting two different things together, seeing what it brings about in our minds, rolling some dice, maybe getting some random things and sticking them together and seeing what we come out with. I mean, Dali, like with the knife cutting the eye, and then the cloud cutting the moon, and then the things vaguely connected by a small motion or whatever, clocks dripping, acting like they don't normally act, putting things into a new context. I think that surrealism is brilliant. Okay, so from the chat, Jess says that I am going to enjoy the Sizzler buffet in Thailand. All you can eat for less than $5. But what kind of food? I'm imagining it's a lot of grilled vegetables and meats. Apparently, fruit salad, soup, pasta, and dessert. And sorry about your laptop crashing. I've just been asking whether you would like to see more surrealism in games. Like maybe sheep jumping over Tower Bridge, and maybe there's some flying chairs around trying to get in the way of the sheep. And maybe there's like evil cows, or evil eyes, like just eyeballs that are flying around, just the eye, nothing else. Just like an eye with wings. And then they're flowing around. Like, would you like to see more surrealism in games? And Jess answers yes, yes. I'm glad we're all on the same page. Okay, good. Well, if you have got other questions, you've got like maybe a couple of seconds to get them in. Otherwise, I'm going to move on to ask. Sorry about this. Over to you. What are you up to? You can share, but only if you want to. Okay, so is there something fun? Is there something frivolous? Is there something dumb? Is there something serious? Something that you want to do? Something that you have to do? Feel free to share, but only if you want to. Well, I'm going to definitely send a couple of emails that I have to send. I'm going to send a couple of emails to people from Aconite Books to invite them onto the show. It's been a while because my laptop broke, and then I got my laptop back a few days ago, and then I felt bad about emailing them. But now I'm like, okay, yes, they can pick any day they want. That's a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday of the week, or Saturday, Sunday would also be acceptable, but those are days with fewer people generally watching based on I'm going to maybe treat myself. I'm pondering of going out and getting a wee mani-pedi. Might be just chilling, relaxing, doing some reading, having a bit of a bath, and going out in the evening. Cycling a bit over an hour, so that's good. I always feel good when I think that if I'm cycling more than an hour and a half, it's like, oh wow, I've cycled quite a bit. If I've cycled like cycling 4 or 5 hours, that's like an amount that would tire me out. But like cycling, anywhere up to a couple of hours, that's like, okay, that's a good amount. So yeah, what are you up to other than eating soup? Jess says, I'm just chatting to Ryan and resting and listening to you and your amazing music. Oh, thank you very much. You're very kind. What are you up to today? Well, I've just explained. So yeah, I guess I'm going to recap and wrap up moments before I finish up. So today I chatted about, we chatted a bit about food. We chatted about some purple rice soup that Jess is eating and some strange soup concoctions and sizzlers, a buffet in Thailand. We talked about the games that have been playtesting. We talked about a whole bunch of games for the L deck, and if you do have a deck yourself and you're interested in playing some games, there are 1-player games, there are 2-player games, there are games for 3 or more. How many does the maximum one go up to? I think it goes up to 4. I'm not sure if there is a 5-player game in the ones that I really liked. But yeah, so if you've got not that many people or you like playing games by yourself, and you've got an L deck, then please let me know and please follow my mailing list. Of course, to follow my mailing list, go to stuffbybez.com and there'll be a little envelope sign, and also at the bottom it also says join my mailing list. And by joining my mailing list, then you get to be invited to special remote playtests and stuff. We talked about surrealism in games, like legs. This game where you're a bunch of feet moving up and down a leg. It's brilliant. I want to see more surrealism in games. Jess wants to see more surrealism in games. Why don't we have more surrealism? Just do things that don't really make sense and go for it. And yeah, that was it. Basically, we talked about surrealism being a brilliant thing. And then we finished up. I will be streaming every day at 10 AM UK time for the near future. Monday and Tuesday I do have a lovely guest, Fabrizio Leotti. Monday we will be chatting to Fabrizio and getting to meet them. Monday we will be talking about everything and anything. We could talk about food or recent early memories or childhood or games or... Sorry for the bum note. No, I was trying to do... Yeah, that doesn't work. So, yeah, and then on Tuesday we'll be talking about real-time games with Fabrizio, a very focused discussion, because Fabrizio does have a real-time game on Kickstarter just now. If you think that that's fun, then please tell your friends about these shows. On YouTube and Facebook, the Monday and Tuesday shows are already lined up. And I want to say thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jess, for being here. Thank you for being lovely and keeping me a bit of company remotely. And sure, if you want ice cream, if ice cream will give you net pleasure, then go for it. Absolutely, you deserve. You deserve ice cream if you want ice cream and you think you will enjoy ice cream, and if you are screaming internally and you dream and you careen and you preen for ice cream. Ooh, apparently there's keto coffee ice cream. No sugar, just coffee. Well, if you want soft pasta, look, you've got to make your choice. It's up to you. But I do want to say thank you. And thank you very much for being around. Thank you for just everything. You are all lovely. And if you're watching this after the fact, you're also lovely. And thank you. And for now. And also to the lurkers, there's only one thing really for me to say. And that one thing is, of course, bye, 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 bye. This is the goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye, 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 bye. This is the goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you very much, Jess. Bye-bye to you. It's lovely, and I hope that you have a wonderful day, and whatever you're up to, lots and lots and lots of love.